We've got tips and recipes for healthy living. So for fun and inspiration, come and join us in the raw food world.
Welcome everybody, this is Matt, Monarch with the Raw Food World TV show, and today is Friday, June 26th. And after the RawUnion Festival, we came down towards San Francisco and we're staying in Santa Rosa. And I actually used to live here with my good friend John Kohler. And we're right in front of his house right now. And this is what his front yard used to look like. This is actually his next door neighbor. And I haven't been here in like 8 years. And check it out now. This is just, I drove up thinking this is just absolutely amazing. This is like, grow your own food. I mean, the backyard, every last inch, this was all lawn before, is now just, yeah, this is awesome, John.
Thank you, Matt.
You're into growing your own food, I take it.
Yeah, I think, I've been into raw foods for all these years, and I think a really next important step is for people to grow their own food. I mean, I've been always trying to improve my diet, and the one way I needed to do that, the final step was to actually grow my own food, because that's the only way I could improve my diet, because I think my diet's pretty fine-tuned now. But growing your own food, you'll get a higher quality food, not only with the soil, using rock dust and minerals, so you get a mineral-rich food with your own compost. Also, you could grow different varieties of things, that you can't buy in the store. You can't get, you were trying earlier, magenta spreen lamb's quarters. I mean, those things are amazing, but you can't buy those in the store, because the minute you pick them, they'll wilt,
right.
And they won't last, and they won't make that trip from the farm to the store.
Right.
So I think that's why, I really want to grow my own food, and I think everybody could do it, even in small spaces, as we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a huge project. I mean, a lot of people are working every day and doing crazy things. I mean, how much time does this take of yours?
Right. Well, see, this is a major important thing in my life to do this. So actually I have 2 part-time gardeners that help me accomplish all this. I couldn't do it alone. I need to thank them on the tape here. It's Sage and Tiffany. Thank you so much for making this possible, Sage and Tiffany. But you don't have to do it as much as this. I want to make a big statement in my neighborhood and just to reflect who I am. And I mean, I think for the transportation and global warming, growing your own food, it doesn't, I mean, my food every night for dinner, it comes from, outside. I pick it. 5 minutes later, I'm eating it, and it's, I walk it in. There's no carbon footprint or no, fossil fuels being used to transport my food or anything, and it's just really fresh and much more vibrant. The energy life force that I'm getting from my food is insane.
Right on.
Even if you don't have a front yard you want to convert into raised bed gardens, you could easily pick up a couple wine barrels, whether you're in an apartment in New York City or have a small patio in a condo or whatever. A couple wine barrels could grow a lot of food. So take, for instance, this wine barrel here. We have cucumber plants, and I don't even know, I mean, there's at least like a dozen cucumber plants in there. And you could plant cucumber plants. I'm using the square foot gardening method. You could plant cucumber plants relatively close, about 6-inch spacing, and we're putting them up on this trellis, so you do have to train them up, and they'll grow up the trellis, and they'll put on a lot of fruit, and they'll make a lot of food for that given wine barrel. I like to show people what's possible, even in wine barrels. If you don't have the space or don't want to take the time, I mean, anybody can get a wine barrel, fill it full of, compost and, rock dust or rock mineral dust. A good website for that is remineralize.org. Read all about rock dust, because the minerals aren't in the soils anymore. And when we put rock dust in the soils, the plants absorb the rock minerals, basically, and then the plants have the minerals. So the plants are going to be more healthy. You're doing the whole thing in square foot gardening method here, but actually on this front plot, I wanted to just show people the actual method. So actually you can see I have some string down here, and the string basically shows a 1 square foot. So in 1 square foot you could plant 1 tomato plant, because the tomato plant will bush out a little bit. You could plant one of those, same thing with basil. Basil will kind of bush out a little bit. But take something like bok choy. Bok choy, it's bushing out a little bit, but you could plant 4 bok choys in 1 square foot. So even if you don't have a lot of space, you could build a 6x6 or 4x4 square foot garden and have 1 square planted of each, thing you want. I mean, this is a pepper plant, takes 1 square foot. I have some spinach that just got planted. You could plant 9 spinach plants per 1 square foot. I planted 6, a little bit looser. Here's some arugula, that's 1 per square foot, because that's really actually filling out.
So do you think the square foot gardening method is an awesome method?
Absolutely, Matt. Square foot gardening, I mean, I've read up a little bit. I'm also doing this method called bio-intensive. So like when you don't have a lot of space, I mean, I don't have a 9-acre farm like, other places, you have to maximize the use of your land or your space available. So especially for containers or growing in, a residential area where you don't have a lot of space, packing the plants in tighter, as tight as you can, but then allowing them to have enough space to grow and fully express themselves and be healthy. What's really important is you want to get everything on a drip irrigation system, I mean, basically all you're going to have to do is like plant the plant, put a dripper in, and have your drip irrigation system in, and it's all on a timer and waters for you. So literally walk away. You literally just come back to harvest. It's just so easy. I don't know why everybody, and it saves water when you're watering at the point where the plant needs it. I mean, you put a drip emitter right here, the water comes out, it goes right to the roots, the plant's happy, and you're saving water too, especially in these times of water restriction.
Nice.
So I mean, I could feed a lot more people than I'm actually needing, but I like to just want to have mass abundance in my life. So I could come out to in front of my yard and just kind of check in with myself and see what I'm feeling like for dinner and know that I have that much to eat if I wanted any given day of the week. And also what I'm thinking about, since I'm going to have so many things growing here, I'm going to actually become a certified producer in California and start selling at the farmer's market to share my food and to tell people, you can do it locally and maybe even have classes and stuff later to share with people that they can do it themselves and you can grow your own greens.
We've got a man on a mission here. I love it. You started the raw lifestyle about 14 years ago, is it?
Right, yeah, 1995 I started Raw Foods.
1995. And how you healed yourself from something from
Right, I had spinal meningitis, Matt, so like I was basically hospitalized and the doctors told me I might not make it out of hospital alive. And that was really scary for me when I was, in my 20s to hear that.
Right.
And so I basically had to find raw foods and find out that, I needed to build my immune system because the doctors basically said that my spinal meningitis was caused by a complement immune deficiency, which is basically they were blaming my disease on my defective immune system or defective genes. And so I needed to find how to rebuild that. So I found one step led to another, through juicing and cleansing, and then I found raw foods, and I've just basically lived this way ever since.
And you healed yourself?
Yeah, I healed myself. My immune system's never been stronger. I've never been in better shape than I am now, working in my garden. You got to get regular exercise, not just about the food, you have to do some work.
And you have probably one of the biggest online communities.
Right, yeah. I started a website in 1997 to educate people about raw foods because after I was saved from, basically higher powers because the doctors couldn't do anything for me when I was in the hospital, I started a website to share this information because one of my goals in life is to educate people about the power of living in raw foods. So I started a website, RawFoods.com, actually back in 1997 to educate people about raw food. So it's been one of the longest running websites that's been up educating people since that time.
Wow, what's the link for that?
It's just RawFoods.com.
Cool. And you have a festival coming up, don't you?
Right, thank you, Matt. Yeah, I love the RawUnion you had up there in Oregon. It was wonderful. I mean, if you missed it, I don't know if Matt's going to do it next year, but you got to come next year. Just great festival, great energy. Oh, the wedding was beautiful and the food was good too. But yeah, I'm having an expo. It's called Raw Health Expo, and it's July 25th and 26th in Santa Rosa, California, just a little bit away from here. All the summer fruits are going to be in season, and it's actually at the site of the farmers market. So there's going to be a farmers market on Saturday on the site. So rawhealthexpo.com is the website to go to, and if you get a hold of Matt, he's going to have a coupon code for you to save some extra money on the tickets for you. But we're making this real affordable. The tickets, the price is $79.99 at the door, but if you register early, it could be as low as $39.99 with that coupon code for Matt.
Nice. Cool. Thanks, John, for all your wisdom and teaching us how to grow food and stuff.
Sure.
Okay. Well, we're in Santa Rosa area, and we've got
John Kohler
of living-foods.com and rawfoods.com and discountjuicers.com.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, and we've got Matt Monarch, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again at the Raw Food World.